Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for December 12, 2022, the Economic Sanctions Edition. We begin with that story from the Wall Street Journal as the U.S. dropped several different economic sanctions last Friday, and one of those was a first-time sanction, which was a sanction against a U.S.-listed entity. Pingtan Marine Enterprise listed on the NASDAQ, and this blacklisting marks for the first time the Treasury Department directly leveling sanctions on a U.S. company listed on the U.S. Stock Exchange. Should have noted that this article comes to us from the Risk and Compliance Journal, Dylan Tokar reporting from the Wall Street Journal. So a first-time listing, this is for a set of Chinese-flagged fishing vessels which are using potentially using illegal labor or slave labor on their ships. Next up from the AP News, Peru's newest president has sworn in her cabinet and has asked them, each of the ministers she has picked, to give an anti-corruption pledge, and that will be hopefully a key to calming the South American country, which is seemingly in an endemic political crisis. But with her centrist government, it's hoped that with a focus on anti-corruption, that perhaps this Peruvian cabinet and presidentialship will last a little bit longer. We have 2 cases of really just horrible fraud and corruption in corporate settlements. The first comes from Juul Labs. As reported by the New York Times, they've agreed to pay $1.7 billion to settle more than 5,000 lawsuits by school districts, local governments, and individuals who claim that the e-cigarettes were more addictive than advertised. The deal is a consolidation of multiple cases. In September, the company agreed to a $4.38 million settlement for targeting young people in its advertising campaign. So you had the really terrible anomaly, or not even anomaly, of a addictive pro-tobacco company targeting children. And the final is from Hertz, who pays $168 million for falsely filing arrest reports, or criminal complaints, I should say, which led to arrests of people who never rented Hertz cars or return them timely. So shame on you, Hertz. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.